Hi, my name is Sarah Walters, and one of the poems that we read this semester was Leda and the Swan. Why on earth would I choose the most graphic poem of the semester to do my oral presentation on? Yes, it was hard to read. The context causes an emotional reaction most of the time, like a horror or confusion, repulsion, and it can be difficult to read for sure. But while I was researching what to do, this poem had a lot of feedback, and Yeats apparently caused quite a bit of controversy in the 1920s when he wrote it, and he continues to do so today. So I chose, the first article that I chose is a critical essay by Uma Kukathis, and she's talking a lot about the fact that some people think Yeats is being sexist in the way that he portrays Leda in this poem. And so she talks about the language used, and one of the examples that she uses is the descriptive term caressed here, and also this descriptive term of feathered glory, which is in fact describing the bird, which is the aggressor, and he is raping Leda. So to use the word glory in the same sentence as rapist, it really doesn't make much sense. So there is a weird dynamic there, but she equates that to Yeats trying to magnify his character, the swan character here being a godly being, and Leda's interaction with him is not human, but she's a human girl, and her contact with a divine being is quite irresistible. She can't resist him. She's drawn to him in an odd way. And so instead of Uma's saying that instead of Yeats being sexist, he's actually putting the focus on Zeus or the swan being a god rather than Leda's nature as a woman. The second article that I chose was written by W.C. Barnwell, and it's actually titled The Rapist in Leda and the Swan. And I thought I was going to be reading about Zeus. But in fact, Mr. Barnwell presents the fact that the rapist could be multiple people, one of which is Leda. Then Zeus, there could be an unidentified third party, and he even says that the reader could be the rapist. Kind of hard to wrap my mind around those things, but the way he argued those was that each person reads these lines a little bit differently, and I'm going to show you one of the examples here. You see in this fourth line where there is no punctuation. So you have helpless there as a descriptive term, but is that helpless describing him, Zeus the swan, or is helpless describing her? So it kind of opens the door that Zeus and Leda's roles could be flip-flopped or interchangeable, and that in fact Leda could be the aggressor. He also discusses the fact that the third party could be a alternate being, maybe something that's comparable to Mary and the Holy Spirit, where this conceived baby, which in the poem is going to be Helen of Troy, actually has a predestined path to fulfill and in history. And so in that there would be Leda and Zeus both being used, and this alternate being is the rapist. Then he also explains that the reader could be the rapist. I personally could not understand this perspective. I did not get what he was trying to say, so I certainly didn't agree with it. But both of these articles were insightful. I felt like they brought different points of view to the poem, both of which I had not really considered. I definitely didn't consider that there could be multiple possibilities for the rapist. And so my personal perspective, I do agree with Uma that Yeats was not being sexist. He just wanted to portray his godly swan correctly. And the second article that I chose, I remain the same in thinking that Zeus was the rapist and not Leda, not the reader and not the third party, the unidentified third party. Many different options out there. A lot of people feel a lot of different ways, and to each his own. Thank you.